Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, thank you so much for coming to this session.
Thank you, Mataji.
You were Yes, so it's a great honor for me to spend a bit more time with you sharing the conversations. So, our topic today is envy, the main obstruction within relationships. Yes. So let us begin. First of all, let me share what we're going to do. And then we will go through one verse of the Bhagavad Gita, which describes the envious and non-envious behavior towards serious equals juniors. And of course, I have discussed this in many parts of the world, and very often people say, wow, this was a bit of a heart surgery. Now I realize I've got it all. So yes, be ready for it. And also let us make clear, this discussion is meant to discover the envy in our hearts and not in other people's hearts. Because when it comes to envious behavior towards users, the contaminated intelligence might say, just see, I knew my superiors are envious, that's why they treat me like this. So we don't want to go that way. Because if we use this discussion to discover the envy in other people's hearts, what does that mean? That we are envious. Yes. So let us not allow our envy to manifest in such a gross way. And another little thing, in the 5th canto, there is one verse, I can't remember which one, in the word-for-word translation, it says there, Kalaha, meaning the envious, and then Prabhupada puts in brackets, almost everyone. Prabhupada has this humorous way of getting the point across. Almost everyone, because, envy is quite subtle, and we like to keep ourselves in this illusion that everybody else is so envious, especially of me, but I don't have that, of course not. Yes, but just sit down. If you're young and fit, you can sit on the floor. If you prefer a chair. Just come here at the front. I'm a personalist. I like to have some contact with my Yeah, so almost everyone. This may very well most likely include us too, right? Why should we be the big exception who is not? Yes. And let us also, to begin with, let us understand how envy comes about. So as soon as sense gratification is a big goal in our life, then envy and competition enter. way we use that term envy is that we use it in connection with somebody who has something which we don't have. But I like to make things a little broader. And I like to understand envy as a certain state of heart, which comes out actually in all relationships. Not only towards a superior or senior who has something which we don't have, but it comes out in all relationships, even to subordinates and juniors. So, and that we will discover today. Yes, so I would like to turn to verse 4, 8, 34. But I actually want to request you not to look on your phone, because today I can allow myself to be a little more interactive because we have a little bit more time. And also there is not immediately shower afterwards and everybody runs off. So, yeah. And, you know, I would like you to hear attentively, and then we will collect the envious and non-envious behavior from what you remember. So if you look on your phone, oh, then no big deal to read it off your phone. You know, that by hearing and try to remember. It will maybe be a little bit more. Okay, 4, 8, 34. So I will just once change to Sanskrit. Gunadikam Buddham Lipset Anrukusham Gunadamat Atim Samad Anvichen Natapira Amulate. Sorry, and the translation is as follows. Every man, and here man means human, not man in opposition to woman, but yes, human. Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate towards him. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. So that is already an interesting statement, that last sentence. That if we just learn how to act without envy, we will never be affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. Wow, that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? So now let us read how Prabhupada unpacks this verse. Generally, when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of him. Can we just settle down? There's always some shuffling and moving and just sit down.
But you were just trying to figure out the live stream, we just got disconnected, and there's a lot of people expecting it online.
Really?
Apologize.
What a shame they're not here. I mean, you should not do the live stream, so but no, okay, you are excused. Yeah. But it would be so much nicer if they were not coming.
But not everybody can come.
Yeah, I understand if people are too far away.
And you know, if it's on Facebook, we have 25,000, 13,000 followers, so many more may see your face.
Facebook. Okay. All right. Generally, when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of him. So Prabhupada here, he uses that term envy in that connection towards somebody who is more qualified. When we find someone less qualified, we deride him. So please be all attentive so you remember all these things. And when we find someone equal, we become very proud of our activities. These are the causes of all material tribulations. So here we have that statement another time, that this envious behavior is the causes of all miseries. The great sage Narada therefore advised that a devotee should act perfectly. Instead of being envious of a more qualified man, one should be jolly to receive him. Instead of being oppressive to a less qualified man, one should be compassionate towards him, just to raise him to the proper standard. And when one meets an equal, instead of being proud of one's own activities before him, one should treat him as a friend. One should also have compassion for the people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. Now comes the last sentence. Very often the last sentence in Prabhupada's purports is always Prabhupada one more time. Hits the nail on the head. So he says, these important functions will make one happy within this material world. So it comes 3 times, once in the verse and 2 times in the report. How this envious behavior is the cause of our suffering. So now we may think, well, this will make us happy in this material world. Aren't we always preaching that one cannot be happy in this world? So, but now here Prabhupada says we can be happy, so it seems to contradict each other. But actually it doesn't, because in the beginning we already established that envy comes from the desire and aspiration for sense gratification. So that means actually only a pure devotee will not be envious, right? A person who is free from the desire for sense gratification. So, and that means pure devotee, he is in one sense not even part of this material world anymore. He is already with Oshi, and in their consciousness, they're already in the spiritual world, right? And therefore they can be happy anywhere. In this world or another world, or in the spiritual world. Yes, so it's not a contradiction. Yes, so now let us collect the different aspects. Let's start with the senior relationship towards seniors. Can anybody remember what Prabhupada said about the non-envious behavior? How do we receive a senior when we are not envious? Jolly, happy to receive him. So, when we are envious, I usually start with the envious behavior. When we are envious, we are not so jolly to receive him, right? We think, oh no, not this person is coming now. And we may ask, oh, John, how long are you staying? Oh, 3 days, oh good, you're right. And then our heart, we think, oh, thank God, after 3 days he's leaving again. And then I have the scene to myself again, and I'm the center of attention. And what else do we do when we are envious and a senior person comes? What do we do? There's a few more things that we do. Yeah, the writing was more with a subordinate. We are still towards seniors. What do we do? Not respecting, and how does that manifest?
Neglect.
Yeah, neglect can be one, that we ignore the person. We pretend person is not even worth giving any attention to, right? We just not even see him. Yeah. So in other words, this envy brings about this mood that we want to reduce others' importance in order to establish our superiority. Right? So with the senior, we look like that. We just ignore them. We don't give them any attention. Not even worth saying Hare Krishna. So, and what else do we do? What else? Criticize, exactly. We find faults. We're pretty good at that. Yes, we criticize. Yes. We find something to reduce the person's importance. Let us imagine an example. A traveling preacher comes, leads a kirtan, and a friend of ours says, "Oh, that was a pretty nice kirtan, wasn't it?" And we say, "Yeah, it was all right, but..." and we find something, but the tune was a little strange. I couldn't connect with that tune. Or his mridanga playing needs a bit of improvement, or whatever it may be. We find something to reduce his importance. In other words, we say, if I had led the kirtan, my tunes are so much better, and my mridanga playing is better anyway. You know, like that. So now, interestingly, our previous Acharya Sridhar Swami, he says, whether it is true or not, talking about faults of a Vaishnava means to blaspheme him, even if it is true.
Can you repeat that, if it's true or not?
Whether it's true or not, talking about faults of a Vaishnava means to blaspheme him, even if it is true. That's a point which we usually don't so easily remember. You know? That we think, well, it's true. What's wrong with speaking the truth? You know? And that gives us the justification to say things. And after all, I'm just sharing my kirtan experience with my friend. So I thought the tune was a little weird. What's wrong with that? Freedom of speech? Modern America here. I can say what's truth. But no, if we really introspect, then we have to admit there is a little bit of envy there that impels us to make that statement. Yeah, it's so subtle. And we do these things quite commonly, and we don't even recognize them. Yeah. Just in the name of sharing, and after all, it's true. Why can't I say it? You know, that's how we justify. Yeah, it's good to know these things. We do it quite commonly, and we don't even realize, we don't identify it as any. We think we have all the rights to say it because after all it's true. Yeah, so that's interesting. Yes. So that's basically the main versions of the envious behavior, that we ignore him, or we're not so jolly and pleased to receive him, or we find something, to put him down, or we talk behind his back and just to diminish his importance. So now the non-envious behavior, we said already, we are jolly to receive him. And what else do we do? How do we associate with somebody who's more experienced? We learn from him, meaning we want to hear and inquire from the person. And what else? Glorify.
You appreciate them?
Appreciate.
We try to help them.
Oh, we serve them.
Yes.
We're meant to offer menial service.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So that's not only towards Guru like that, but actually towards anybody who is a little more experienced than we are. That's really how we take advantage of that person's presence. And interestingly, the serving and inquiring and hearing, they enhance each other. So the more we serve, the more we want to hear and inquire from the person. And the more we hear and inquire, the more we feel inspired to serve. And so like that, these two aspects really enhance each other. Very important aspects in our spiritual development. That's how we take advantage of that person's presence, by really squeezing some nectar out of that person through inquiry and hearing. Yes. I mean, these days, maybe you notice, people often rather talk about themselves than inquiring. Yeah? Yeah. Can we switch off the phone, please? Yeah, so very common these days, you know, that people rather want to talk about themselves, what they've already doing, and all their big achievements. So to do that in the presence of a more senior person would be really inappropriate. You know, it has that flavor of wanting to show off and so on. You know? And if the person asks us, so what are you doing, what's your service, what's your work, and so then we can appreciate. But no, we should actually inquire from that person rather than talking about ourselves. So now towards juniors. What did it say in the verse and purport? What's our envious behavior towards juniors? Who remembers? Yes, we deride them. We are oppressive. We push them down. Or we make fun out of them, cracking a joke, having a good laugh on their expense. So they look foolish like that, right? What else do we do? So a few more things. We take advantage of him. Can be in so many ways. You know, either push him to do things just for our credit or something. Or what else? Or let me share, this may be also relevant for us here. When we delegate a task to a junior, we can say there is kind of an envious way of delegating and a non-envious way of delegating. So the envious way of delegating is that we have the mood, either you do it or I do it. And if you want to do it, good luck, you do it. And we don't follow up. We don't ask, or how are you doing? Maybe you need some help, you need some more manpower, you need some money, some good advice, and we don't follow up. No, he wants to do it, let him do it. And maybe, deep in our heart, we hope that he will not be so successful. That we can say, well, just see how you can't do it, but you wanted to do it. I knew I should have done it myself, but you wanted to do